Thank you so much, Steph. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau expected to make an announcement today about the Liberal government's effort to produce COVID-19 vaccines here in Canada. Industry Minister François-Philippe Champagne says that the government is moving quickly toward domestic vaccine production instead of being reliant on foreign production. Talks have been underway with front-running vaccine makers, and Champagne said that they've received positive feedback. A new facility to produce these vaccines is being built, should be finished this summer. Trudeau will be addressing Canadians on the situation at 11:15 today, and we're going to be streaming that on our website if you'd like to watch, citynews.ca. Meanwhile, a new poll released this morning by Leger suggesting many Canadians are in favor of tighter restrictions on international travel imposed by Ottawa. This poll suggesting 86% of respondents agree with the stricter measures, which include temporary suspension of flights to most sun destinations and making it mandatory to quarantine at a hotel at the passenger's expense upon arrival in Canada. This poll was done between January 29th to the 31st. It was done online, so there is no margin of error. And with public opinion seemingly agreeing with travel restrictions, it's been confirmed that the first case of the South African COVID variant is here in Ontario.
Those variants come to our country piggybacking on people, and then they can spread from there. The fewer people who arrive for now, the better the testing and quarantine arrangements are, then the better we will be to be able to manage the virus overall and to manage the variants.
Mayor John Tory confirming the case has been found in Peel Region, although the infected person has not recently traveled nor knowingly been in contact with anyone who has been out of the country. The province's top doctor, Dr. David Williams, says that this particular strain, it has a higher viral load, which means it may be more infectious. The confirmation comes on the same day that international travelers flying into Toronto must take a COVID-19 test upon arrival. And the other big news we're following out of Queen's Park, Ontario's education minister says the province is still deciding if all students across the GTHA can return to in-person learning, saying it's possible they may not reopen if COVID cases rise.
We now have new variants that have entered our country. We have to continue to demonstrate to parents and to our frontline staff an absolute commitment to keep them safe.
The province has already allowed some schools to reopen in public health units where case counts are lower. The province reportedly said schools in hot zones like Toronto, York, Peel would not be able to return until at least February the 10th. An announcement on the decision is expected to come tomorrow. Now, reaction continues to pour in with some families and teachers frustrated by the challenges of online learning. So coming up here in just a few minutes, we're going to be speaking with the province's NDP education critic, Merritt Stiles, on what the Ford government needs to focus on before allowing schools to reopen for students in the GTHA. Well, new U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris made her first call to a foreign leader, and it was with our Prime Minister. Harris and Justin Trudeau spoke of the ongoing struggle to free two Canadians detained in China for more than 2 years, Michael Kovrig and Michael Spavor. It's believed Beijing is holding them in retaliation for Canada's arrest of Huawei executive Meng Wanzhou in 2018 on a U.S. warrant. The two leaders also spoke about the U.S.'s declaration of their Buy American policy. What was not mentioned, however, was the Biden administration's cancellation of the Keystone XL pipeline. Here in the city now, the executive committee approving 4 community crisis support service pilots to use civilian workers when responding to wellness checks instead of police. Now, the programs would focus on non-emergency calls like someone in crisis or responding to a wellness check. The exec committee recommends the city now hold public consultations to refine this proposal, which would engage residents, community organizations, and Indigenous, Black, and Equity communities. Well, this February's Black History Month comes after a year of reckoning with racism following the death of George Floyd and the months of protests that followed. Coming up here at 8 o'clock this morning, we're going to take a look at how far we have come and how much further we need to go. City News reporter Adrian Gabriel on where the Black Lives Matter movement stands today. And coming up next, Sunwing gets a financial hand from the federal government. 680 business editor Mike Eppel, he is ahead with just how much the airline got in the way of help.